Hello, today is Saturday, June the 16th. Welcome to the Shy Singer-Songwriters podcast. I'm Vicki Flowett, aka Hummingbird, and today I wanted to talk about dreams and creativity. They kind of go together for me. I wanted to tell you about this dream that I had. Most of the time, I dream and I only fleetingly grasp at the meaning of the pictures, which usually fade quickly. Although I have often woken up inspired or with an answer to something I've been struggling with, but I have had dreams so powerful that I can still see the images of those dreams in my mind. Once, when I was a child, I was dreaming of the Disney cartoon Dumbo, the little elephant with the huge ears that everyone laughs at. Of course, in my dream, I was the baby, embarrassed and ashamed and hurt by the malicious laughter of the others, until one day I spread my ears and flew. The sensation in my dream was absolutely unreal. I could feel the wind rippling over my skin, my whole body vibrating with joy. Soaring through the sky, I was looking down at the earth. I woke up. I was lying in my bed in the fetal position, on my side with my hands wrapped around my pillow, and it took me a while to understand that I had been dreaming. I must have been only, say, 5 or 6 at the time. But even today, I can still remember how it felt to fly. It's interesting because in a lot of ways, my life has resembled that dream. I was, for a very long time, teased and put down for being different. But my being different eventually made me stronger. And today, every now and then, I like to think I soar. Just this week I was feeling down. It was one of those days when you feel like all your efforts are futile and maybe it's time to get a real job and who am I kidding anyway? Inside I was feeling like that little odd sad baby of my dream so long ago. Then someone sent me a lovely note about how they had felt inspired by something I'd said in my podcast. Someone else wrote me a note asking for my advice on their music. Someone else commiserated with me on the lack of interest in a certain piece of music that had been rejected. And I received a contract from a music publisher wanting to represent a piece of music that I wrote in February for the next couple of years. So sometimes when I sit down and I add up all the wonderful things that happened to me, my friends, my family, the trio that I sing with, the people that listen to my music, the people that listen to my podcast, the people that take the time to tell me what they think about my music, that take the time to thank me for my sharing of my process, my students who come and work with me every week and hopefully leave smiling. So many things to be thankful for. The health of my father, who, since it's Father's Day this Sunday, I am reminded of in this moment. So I'd like to know from you, what's your flying dream? Which kind of brings me to the second subject, or I think the connected subject of artistry and the creative process. Artistry is really important to me. I think one of the reasons it's so important to me is that I denied it. And when I look around my world that I live in, I can see that there is a denial of artistry in our society. And by that I mean there is a denial of the process that a human being goes through to become a true and authentic artist who is living and working from their heart and sharing their perspective with the world. Now, I must admit there's some art that I don't relate to, but there is much art that I do relate to. And when I say the word art and artist and artistry, I'm kind of putting everything that is creative underneath that umbrella. Painting, writing, songwriting, instrumental writing, poetry writing, just about anything that takes creativity. Cooking, you name it. Television, filmmaking, there's so much acting. There's all kinds of things that go under that umbrella of artistry. And one of the books that I highly recommend, if you are feeling stuck with your creative process and you want to do something that actively will help you support yourself in the process of rediscovering your creativity, I highly recommend The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. I read this book about 4 years ago. It's a 12-week program, and I did it with my girlfriend, and I found it was really, really helpful to be doing it with someone else who was on the same path and had the same kind of consciousness and awareness and who was willing to work on the tasks. And it took us much more than 12 weeks to do the book. I think it probably took us about 6 or 7 months, because we would sometimes stay with a chapter for 2 or 3 weeks. And we would do the tasks, and we would read the chapter, and we would meet at least once a week and talk about where we were in the process, and talk about our feelings about it. And it wasn't all positive. Sometimes it was a real struggle. Sometimes I felt a lot of reluctance to do some of the tasks. One in particular was about dreams, and it was about the dream that you had had for yourself. And I remember when I came to that chapter and was given that task, that I felt really, really angry and really, really resentful, and I didn't want to do it. And, sometimes during this process, my arrogance came up, and I would say, why do I need to do this? I'm a pretty evolved person. I've already done all this work. But every time I said that to myself, the other calmer, more grounded part of myself said, because it's good for you. So I did. I did the morning pages, and I did the chapters. So I came to this chapter about the dream for yourself. And after struggling with it for about 3 days, I finally wrote something about it. I finally sat down, and I realized one of the reasons I was really, really angry about it is I felt that it was going to be impossible for my dream to come true. And that dream that I had was that I would sing at the Metropolitan Opera in my lifetime. And no one's ever said to me that I couldn't do that. I've never auditioned there. I've never even tried. But it just seemed like it would be impossible for me to do that. But that had been such a big dream of mine for so many years, probably at least a dozen years as I worked on my voice. And I really grieved that dream. I grieved that would not be coming true for me. And it was very, very difficult. It's even difficult right now to talk about it. It's the first time I've talked about it in a long time. And as I looked at that dream and I thought about what it meant to me, and I thought about what Julia Cameron said in the book, it took me a few days, and I started to see within that dream the germ of another dream. I started to realize that my desire to sing on the stage of the Metropolitan Opera was, in a way, about proving something to the world. It was about something that was external from me. I wanted to say to all the people who had teased me, like the little elephant in that Disney cartoon. I wanted to say to all those people who called me names and threw stones at me and made me feel small, that I was going to be something and they would have to take notice. And when I looked at the reasons for that dream, I realized that they were not healthy reasons. And I realized that my desire to sing there was more about pride and arrogance than it was about true artistry. So I started to look deeper. I started to look underneath that dream. And I came up with a new dream, a dream that I am living now. And I have been living every day since that realization. And that dream is that I want to be in the music. I want to be in it every day. Right? So being in it means to me not just listening to it, but actually being part of it. So I get up every day now and I teach my students singing. And I teach a couple of guitar lessons. And I write a piece of music. And I produce a piece of music. And I go on songwriting boards and I listen to other people's music and give them feedback. And they listen to mine and give me feedback. And I pass on the knowledge about the music industry that I've learned over the last 3 or 4 years to people who are asking questions. And I rehearse with my trio. And every time we get together, we are in the music. So my whole life is being in the music. And that dream has come true for me, and it's continuing to grow. And music is more and more a part of my life. And in that way, the artist way moved me from that place of, I'm gonna show you world, to a place of, this is who I am, and this is what I do. Now, underneath the umbrella of, I want to be in the music, if I get to sing at the Metropolitan Opera, it will be a healthy thing because I am being in the music. And in the moment when the orchestra is playing and I am singing, I will be in the music. And everyone in the audience will be in the music with me. And maybe there's a little part of me that still kind of hangs on to that dream. But I have to tell you another little dream that came true for me after that, after I had made that choice. It wasn't very long after that I went down to the local opera company and I auditioned for them. It was for the chorus. I didn't feel that I had yet the skills to be a soloist in an opera. So I auditioned for the chorus, and I auditioned just to be in the music. I really thought about it a lot, and I thought, when I go down there, it's an opportunity to sing with a grand piano, with an excellent pianist, and just be in the music for that 5 minutes. So I was nervous, but I went down there and I said hello to the chap. And when it came time to sing, I closed my eyes and I just went to that special place of being in the music in me and sang. And tried not to let go of any need to prove anything, but just to be there and just be myself and just sing something I loved in the best way that I could. And afterwards he said, I'd like you to sing the season with us. I'd like you to sing the season with us. So I walked home. I know I walked home, but I don't think my feet ever hit the sidewalk. So in a way, my dream had come true, and I did sing the season with them. And that was like such a thrill. And I felt that one of the reasons why that audition went so well for me is I'd done the work to let go of, I need to prove something. To let go of the anger that I felt from the past. And I could just be truly myself in that moment and very authentically just sharing my art with someone else who appreciated it and asked me to join and be in the music with a group of people. And nothing is sweeter than being up on stage with 60 people singing and a full orchestra playing and an audience full of people. That's being in the music. So I hope that this week you will be in the music. I hope that you will do your morning pages, fill in your form, practice your guitar, practice your singing, write those lyrics, rewrite that song, listen to indie music, and be in the music. Because you know what? The one thing that I know for sure is that just about every human being feels better when they're listening to music or playing music or creating music. It's just something that makes us feel alive and makes us feel good. And I think in this day and age, we really need that. So be in the music this week and keep dreaming your dreams and pick up The Artist's Way. I highly recommend it. Thanks for listening.